At the corner of 7th and Olive in downtown St. Louis, you'll find an old building, 16 stories tall, with a new story to tell.
There's something very special that we're trying to tell. We're trying to evoke sort of the feeling that travelers got 150 years ago.
The old Union Trust building has been turned into the new Hotel St. Louis, restored by Renovations St. Louis, the same company that turned the Coronado Hotel into apartments and the Moolah Temple into a theater. But to reimagine this building took a lot of imagination.
You don't spend $65 million if it doesn't need a major overhaul. Everything needed to be replaced.
After 3 years of hard work, Hotel St. Louis had its soft opening at the end of 2018. The grand opening is in March.
Yay, isn't that awesome? Finally, so exciting.
When the Union Trust building opened in 1893, it housed offices, not bedrooms. So turning it into a hotel required the Gills to keep in mind the principle that form follows function. Not just because it makes sense, but because that old adage was coined by the architect who designed the original Union Trust building, Louis Sullivan.
Everything about Louis Sullivan buildings was always very functional. And once he made sure of the functionality, then he went crazy with ornamentation.
The Gills tried to save lots of those frills and flourishes, restoring what they could and recreating what they could not. A lot of the original plaster was missing, and so was most of the original stained glass skylight, now being recreated by a local artist one panel at a time. They have also reopened the original mezzanine, which had been enclosed during a previous remodeling job. And since the original building had a rooftop bar, they are also bringing that back.
It's all about a sense of not being like this kind of stodgy, old, historic kind of place, but more, I feel like it's more about making it exciting and fun for people.
Along with restoring the building, the Gills want Hotel St. Louis to help restore the city's image by giving out-of-towners a uniquely local experience. The guest room minibars are loaded with St. Louis-made treats. Visitors are also issued metal water bottles to let them know St. Louis has the best tap water in the country. There are arches in the headboards and fleur-de-lis in the carpets. The rooms also come furnished with record players, so guests can listen to albums recorded by bands with a St. Louis connection.
This isn't just another hotel. This is exactly like nothing else.
And that includes the restaurant, called Union 30, a nod to the building's original name and status as one of only 30 remaining Louis Sullivan buildings. Union 30's menu is peppered with some of St. Louis's favorite dishes, including one that is literally famous, thanks to Chef Matt Birkenmeyer, who was asked to recommend a chef who knows St. Louis cuisine.
So I said, yeah, sure, I might know a few people. I went home, I'm like, duh. I'm interested in this. It sounds like a really cool thing.
The idea of revisiting the famous of St. Louis also includes the meeting rooms, which bear the names and likenesses of some of St. Louis's most celebrated former residents. Even the door hangers have local flair, with two of them reflecting the city's baseball royalty, while another celebrates the vernacular of the commoner.
It's a hotel, not a theme park. So I want to tread that fine line between, crazy theme park, right, and really beautiful hotel with really interesting and fun things to do.
Some of the local tales they tell here are subtle, like these custom-built tables with legs meant to look like I-beams, which were invented by Louis Sullivan, or the roses in the lobby, an homage to Henry Shaw, the founder of the Missouri Botanical Garden. His townhouse once stood where Hotel St. Louis stands now.
The experience that you get when you stay here is St. Louis.
When it comes to hotels, there are plenty of beds available in St. Louis. But a stay at Hotel St. Louis also comes with bedtime stories.
We're trying to tell a special story here, trying to tell the story of what St. Louis used to be and what it can be.